The way the Super Cup was typing H-A-H-A-H-A-H-A. Come on, man. Welcome to episode 22 of Reactions. My name is Mr. Sal. Very soon we'll be doing like welcome to Reactions with Mr. Sal, yeah?
I've told you to start already, but it's like...
All right, so joining us today, or joining me today, is Mr.
What do you mean by joining you?
Joining me today now.
Joining us.
Reactions with Mr. Sal.
Hey.
We have... Please.
Joining me
Introduce Cheryl quickly.
Yep. All right, Mr. Enekwechi is not having it today. So, yes, so we have the lovely Miss Cheryl.
Can you guys see her face very well? Very
Yes,
fine
can you see me?
Very long time friend, all the way from Dancing in Dawasa University.
Yes.
Yeah, so Cheryl, it's
Okay.
great to have you here today. Yeah.
Lovely to be here, Sal.
Yeah.
Lovely
Are you ready to get into these topics?
I'm going to do my best.
You're going to keep it 100.
More like 200.
Oh, okay. Now,
Yes.
All right, though. Yeah, so before we start, so please subscribe to Page 36 TV on YouTube, like this video, subscribe, comment, share, and just give us your feedback and everything, So, Enekwechi, how you doing anyway? You good?
I'm very good. Thank you.
Okay. All right, let's get to the business of the day. People are not serious today, yeah. So first of all, I'm going to be doing an update on DCP Abba Kyari's internet fraud case, because last week we talked about it. So there are new developments.
Did you see his
right
internet
now.
fraud case?
It's internet fraud case now,
In connection with Ramona.
Yeah, it's linked to the whole thing. It's an internet fraud case, so he's linked. If you conspire, whatever accessory after the fact, you're all linked to this internet fraud case.
But right now,
so,
it's an alleged conspiracy.
Yeah, I've never accused him of anything. I just said his internet fraud case. Yeah.
Okay.
The way you say it sounds as if he's the one that is in the Yahoo. But I understand what you mean.
Please, let me give you guys an update. So, the Police Service Commission on Sunday suspended DCP Abba Kyari over his recent indictment by the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation, that's the FBI, for his alleged involvement in a $1.1 million internet fraud with effect from Saturday. So they suspended him on Sunday with effect from Saturday, July 31. So on Monday also, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Akali Baba, replaced DCP Kyari with DCP Tunji Disu as the new head of the Police Intelligence Response Team. Also on Monday, new reports emerged from the FBI, from the United States, that Rahman Abbas, that's Hush Puppy, allegedly paid DCP Kyari 8 million naira for the arrest of Chibuzo Kelly Vincent, with specific instructions to make him suffer in jail. All those were contained in that. It's a very long statement. I didn't go into all those details. So page 39, item 145 of the document from the FBI stated that DCP Kyari provided the account information of another Nigerian's Zenith Bank account to receive the money. So he did not send his own account details. He sent somebody else's account details. So on Tuesday as well, DCP Kyari denied collecting the said sum from Hush Puppy, saying that Hush Puppy only sent him a receipt of an 8 million naira transaction to help him recover the loan. So part of his new statement, because there was a report on that he kept editing his statement on Facebook. You know, he released the statement last week that we talked about, where he said he collected just 300,000 naira for native attire. So the Facebook post he put, they say he edited that post like 10 times. You know, then he now deleted the entire post. Yeah, out of frustration, I guess. So part of his new statement in defense says, like he said, he, Hush Puppy, also called for another case in June 2020 and complained about a financial transaction with a second person whom he said his friend sent 8 million naira to and pleaded for his friend's money to be recovered by the police. Wow. So, continue. He sent transaction slips and other evidences to prove their case against the person that's Hush Puppy sent him. So, all these can be verified from Hush Puppy according to the police statement, since he's still in the custody. And it can be verified from the person who collected the 8 million naira from Hush Puppy's friend. This is the true story. So this is what DCP Abba Kyari is saying in his new defense statement. So Henry, I'm going to come back to you because we talked about this one last week.
Yeah.
You know, so when this guy did his first rebuttal, you know, defense statement, he didn't talk about this 8 million, you know, until the FBI released this or this document
as receipts are coming out.
Exactly.
He's adjusting his story.
I think it could have been better for him last week, you know, if he just laid down everything that he feels, you know, or he felt transpired or he knew transpired between both of them, instead of like waiting for new information to come out. Then you're coming to edit a Facebook statement and everybody's looking at you like a crazy person because you're no longer talking about 300,000. There's now 8 million that was sent to you or sent to your proxy, however you want to do it.
If you remember, in the previous statement, he said that was the only money that exchanged hands.
Oh, he said that?
That's what he said. That was the only thing, and that Hush Puppy paid the money directly to the tailor. That he was the courier guy.
To collect the clothes.
You understand? He was the delivery. He was the delivery guy. What is even funny is this is the true story. Sir, please, the last one was what?
I don't know.
So you are lying to us. It's good for him, Sha, that he did not make that statement under oath, because by now
perjury.
Exactly. So I'm just you know, I feel like Kyari is having to deal with the realities of being caught with your hand in the cookie jar. His hand is stained, his mouth is stained. There's nothing that he can say. All this is the true story. 8 million. I'm coming. So they sent the post. So what I want to get right, they sent you screenshots of 8 million naira sent to whose account? That's if we are going to break this down. So from the screenshot, we all know that screenshots of account balances and waiting. They cross out the names. They cross out the account number now. So the screenshot that Hush Puppy will send to you is for what exactly? It's based on screenshot that you're going to arrest somebody, or that is screenshot money that you're going to collect from Hush Puppy's friend. Oh God, talk true now. Talk true.
Yeah, like I saw many comments online.
And you know the funny thing?
Nigerians were very disappointed because this is a guy that heads the intelligence response team. Like they expect you to be very smart.
Keyword, intelligence.
Exactly. And you're giving us rebuttal that does not even make sense. Like you like when the police become debt collector, I don't understand. Like looking at itself, like is the police responsible? Like if you have a loan, you know, somebody's owing you a debt right now in this country, are you going to the police to recover your money?
Well, yeah,
not to recover your money. Not to recover your money.
Okay, to do what?
That's the wrong place to even go to. I know in Nigeria, sometimes because of lack of knowledge, we don't know the right places to go to. If somebody is owing you money, it's not a criminal offense. It has nothing to do with the police. There's only a system where people use the police to intimidate people. You know, for example, contract of employment. Your boss has not paid you, you know, or you want a tenant to leave your house. You see, rich people might go to the police, you know, to throw the person out. That's not the right way to go. You know, this is an intelligence response team. This is a police officer. He knows if other Nigerians on the road do not know, you know, that you're not the right place to go to. If you even come to me, he should send you to the right place to go to, or this is the right thing you should do. That's not the job of the police.
But there are ways to criminalize debt. right?
Yeah.
So if you throw in a check in a bank, it becomes a criminal offense.
Yeah.
Then you can take it to the police, you can report it. But I agree with you when you say that, there should
Recovery.
be, recovery, not necessarily for the intelligence response team. But then it also just goes to show the level of, I don't know, the type of persona that Abba Kyari built for himself, which earned him the term super cop. You know, there was there were a lot of things he was doing that you wouldn't typically expect a police officer, an intelligence response head of that magnitude to do. There was his social media presence. There was all that flamboyance. I mean, reports came out about the picture that he took. He took a selfie and sent to Ramon Abbas, showing his in his official attire.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so there was all that interfacing with people that was unnecessary. You know, for someone of his office. So when he decided, I guess, to build that kind of reputation, then he opened him up to all sorts of things that just don't make sense.
And you know, in Nigeria, like when these people are in power, you know, they know that the local system we have here has no power over them. I didn't think he foresaw a day where a bigger power will be after him. That's just the thing. You know, I didn't think he foresaw it. But what did you guys think about the police like suspending him, like the police service commission? You know,
I think it's a great start. Yeah. It's a start. But the point is, are they going to see it to the end? Are they going to see it through? They said they're setting up an independent investigation.
SIP.
What does that mean, really? Who is the independent party that is investigating? You know, those are the things. Who are they answerable to? Who have they been answerable to in times past? So that those are the things that will determine whether there will be any indictment at all, if there is to be for Abba Kyari.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I want to say as well, like, I don't even know, I so much do not trust our leaders and the government, you know, in particular, that I don't even believe on a normal day they could have suspended him. I felt like their hands were tied and they just had to do it. I don't see them doing anything.
No, but it was the IGP's recommendation initially that the police service commission
then were tied. What did you want him to do? Everything did not leak everywhere.
I wouldn't necessarily say it was a case of his hands were tied, because we've seen situations where other superior officers, I mean, take for instance the case of Pantami with the NCC. There were reports as well that came out indicting his person, and absolutely nothing was done. So I think there should be some form of commendation, I think, to the IGP. But then it also means, or it will mean so much more if there was a thorough investigation carried out and it played out that, okay, they were able to determine whether he was guilty or not guilty, for lack of a better term.
And I feel like wherever that panel is, the panel needs to be made public.
Good question.
They should do it. They need to do it on live TV for us to watch. I don't
think. Yeah, while you feel so, we commend you for your feelings, but it's not going to happen. This is not going to happen.
I feel like that would be more thorough. Let's hear. So we have seen when those Senate panels have sat in public and we've seen them embarrass themselves. So imagine some of all those things, those faintings and nonsense that we've seen happen behind the scene, and we could not see all those things. That's why I want this public.
No, but I think where these faintings happen are where the cameras are. If there's no fainting, if there's no camera, there's no fainting. However, what I want to state here is, it is possible that on another level, the government is looking to use this as a statement. Personally, I did not think that Kyari would be suspended.
Oh, you didn't think so?
I didn't think so.
I felt like they didn't have a choice.
Let's go back to Obasanjo's time, where he fired Tafa Balogun. He was the IGP.
Yes.
He had, diverted funds, bought himself a private jet, and was living large. Obasanjo used him as a marker to say, now this is what happens for countries that have insaner climes. Even if you do not intend to follow through, that is, punish the person through and through the way the law expects the person to get punished, you remove that person for your own, what do they call it now? Your own, for the perception people have of you. We had the issue with the former, what do they call it? NHIS boss under Jonathan. We had the same issue with the Pencom guy under Jonathan. Even Stella Odua under Jonathan. Do you understand? In Stella Odua's case, up till today, that thing has not been proven that she bought two bulletproof cars with 200 and something million naira. But Jonathan fired her. Do you understand? So leaders normally sacrifice somebody so that they can their anti-corruption campaign can have some level of credibility. Do you understand? So I think, as Cheryl said, this is the first step towards doing that. But I think this may be all that we'll get from the Nigerian government. I think this may be all we'll get.
Wow. It would be terrible. And let me tell you why. Because it's one thing to just. I mean, he wasn't even fired. He was suspended.
Yeah.
So
Which
for all you know, he
that,
can be
though.
brought back.
I think he will be brought back. Look at the NHIS guy.
Let's soft-pedal just a little bit.
Okay.
But again, one of the pillars of this government, one of the pillars they came on in was corruption, right? So take Abba Kyari out of the picture. Let's even look at the main person on trial here, who is Ramon Abbas, aka Hush Puppy. It wouldn't necessarily follow if this was a case of using Abba Kyari as a marker or as a scapegoat or as to set the perception that because there are bigger cases within the country in here. This is a case of a linkage, a possible connivance, so to speak. But you have people within the country that their hands have been stained. This is a proper cut in the cookie jar type of situation, as you put it. And absolutely nothing was done. So if they were to make any kind of statement that I think Nigerians will look at and commend in the future, in the years to come, I don't think it's an Abba Kyari, because let's face it, to an extent, he had quite the reputable, what they call it, leading up until this, awarded by how many people, awarded by how many organizations, the Senate committees, everybody has awarded him. So if you take this this case, I'm going to call it an isolated incident, just so that we don't get into unnecessary trouble. But I'm going to call it an isolated incident. And if you take this away, Abba Kyari was seen to be someone who had a stellar reputation. And so using him as a scapegoat, I think would not just quite make the statement.
Okay, so where I think the statement will be is we know who the sacred cows are. We know the cows. Let's not mince words. We know who the sacred cows are.
For those that don't know, Henry,
Honorable Mr. Off your mic. Is that enough for people? Good. Now, it is about saying, listen, we told you guys, no, there will be no sacred cows. This, I'm not calling anybody animals anymore, please. Anyway, so basically what I'm saying is, this person, as flashy and as good, this person that more or less epitomized what we claim we stood for, has erred. And because he has erred, we have dealt with him. We are decisive about fighting corruption. Do you understand? This is some of the things that politicians use for mileage. Do you understand? If we get this and this is it, then of course, as with every other issue in Nigeria, they've missed the plot by a mile. So no problem.
Another thing that just came to my mind right now, we're talking about the local investigation on DCP Kyari right now. I feel like if our system was serious, if even this SIP was serious, I do not think, allegedly, that this is the only case that this guy might be linked to. I think there should be tons of local cases as well. And they have not unfolded one thing to me. Like, you have not shown us anything. We can't just be relying on the foreign indictment.
Which is why I said that would be the test.
Because
that would be the test.
Exactly.
How far?
I don't think
anything will come out though.
I don't think they'll bring up anything.
Nothing
This
will come
is
out.
what's going to be. We'll be playing catch up as long as Hush Puppy appears in court. We'll be hearing new things that Kyari has done. I believe that that's just what's going to happen. You get, as far as Nigeria goes with investigating what? How?
They're not investigating nothing.
Yes.
Anyway, let's
push our
move.
luck too far.
My heart just broke.
Wait.
At the absolute confidence in which we just concluded that it's just going to go.
You trust me? I don't trust
Do you know what we should work with more often is the antecedents of our leaders. Most times,
it took them too long to suspend.
Most times things happen, and we treat those things as you said, like an isolated case. But if you check the track record, a former APC chieftain, a former member of the Senate, was speaking during this week, and he said, the people who moved from PDP to the APC, moved because they knew that their heads would be spared. He called certain examples, and he said if they had not done what they did, they would have ended up like Joshua Dare. Do you understand? So that's the country that we live in.
Why you even corrupt in the first place? I don't have any sympathy for any of these people though, because the thing is that if your hand was clean anyway, then you will not be bothered about anything, and you can stay wherever you want to stay. Anyway, let's still on this case, but let's move to Michael Zekome. So a senior advocate of Nigeria, Chief Michael Zekome, let me call him his chief today. In what sounds like great news to DCP Abba Kyari and his supporters, because he has a lot of supporters, has stated clearly that the United States FBI cannot come into Nigeria and arrest the indicted local Super Cup. He said that the United States must make a formal request for the extradition of the DCP, which may seem impossible, especially under the present administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. And he said that legal process must be followed. So let me read part of his statement. So he spoke to Arise on Monday, saying, when America demanded Abba Kyari, I heard people say FBI can now arrest him. No, you cannot do that. Nigeria is a sovereign country, for crying out loud. No matter how down in the doldrums we have become, FBI cannot come here and pick Abba Kyari. You must go through the extradition process as established in the Extradition Act of the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 2004. You have to look at sections 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 of the Extradition Act. You guys can go and look at it,
No, we can't.
So going through extradition, the Attorney General of the country has a crucial role to play under the Extradition Act. He and the magistrate, or under the section 251 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, a judge of the Federal High Court. So I brought this up to talk about certain things. So first of all, so we're talking about internal investigation right now. So right now, extradition. There's supposed to be a process to follow. There are many talks around town that this process may not even start, not to talk about follow through. That's where I talked about the fact, like, are we going to be sincere with this prosecution or investigation or whatever I want to call it right now? I want to see, do you think the Nigerian government is going to do all it takes to protect this man and stop him from being taken to the United States of America for further investigation and possible trial? Mind you, in America, it's not like Nigeria, and they will arrest you first before they start investigating. Before all this came out, the FBI have done thorough investigation. They have looked at documents. They are finished. Exactly. That's why in America, most times, when they are done like this, the accused person, they don't bother going to court. They just take a deal, because they know you have done your part. So we are doing whatever we're doing here. We talk about investigation like just now. So there's nothing to really investigate, but we're talking about extradition right now. Do you believe that this government is going to start that process, allow everything play out very fairly, and let him go?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Because you were in support of them before.
No,
now.
I was just saying that as much as we have seen that this is the way they usually operate, we should have some shred, some sliver of hope. But in response to this question, I don't think so. And here's why I say that. From precedents, from what we have seen, they are more concerned about the government is more concerned about saving face. So there might be a real issue that needs to be addressed.
We will be you sending him away, I would think.
No, because here's what I think. I think that there's a chance that even if he's not indicted on all charges or everything they have said, all the investigations they've done may not necessarily add up. Yeah. I don't think he may be able to escape every single thing
that they have FBI, on him that we've never heard about.
Yes, so trust me, the news reports, the international news reports, it will be Nigerian super cop framed. So the Nigerian government will not have that. They will not have that. They would probably put up this whole thing of, we want to conclude our investigations here. We want to do this, we want to do this, we want to do that. So as to be seen as though they're actually working on it. But in terms of extradition, I don't know. I honestly, I'm going to sit down and look up these laws. Apologies, I didn't do that before coming here. Henry, did you? It would have been nice. Honestly, if we did, but when I'm hearing Extradition Act,
I'd love to read this whole thing
when I'm hearing Extradition Act, I'm thinking, but we know that there's Interpol now.
Yeah, but they cannot just come like Ozekuma said.
No, but here's the thing. They did not just want to come because according to...
Interpol can only intercept him in international territory.
Or they can't...
Exactly.
Okay.
They can't come
so, for example, he steps to Ghana right now, they can pick him up.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you for clearing that up. But, okay, so no Interpol, but... the point I'm trying to make here is this. Extradition or no extradition, the FBI did not just spring this up. According to certain news reports, they had first of all made this request. I'm not sure if it was in the form of we want to come and arrest him. I don't think the United States
It was you have questions to answer.
Yes, no more.
Okay, so they had done this in February, and they had done this again. I think it was in April or so.
So
it was on two occasions.
So
but
this was
then
going on behind
this
the
one,
scenes.
yes. So you can see that there has been some effort. There has been some effort to try and reach the Nigerian authorities to say, okay, I'm sure there will have been some level of discussion going on. I'm sure it wasn't just the case of we want to come and arrest him. They know they cannot do that.
They are more modern people.
They know
now.
they cannot do that. But we know that our government will frame it in a certain type of way just to distract us from the real issues and all of that. So yes, having said all that, I'm not sure that they will just hand him over.
Enekwechi, do you think the same, or do you have any hope? Especially the statement from Michael Zekome talked about the role of the AGF. You know,
that's actually where I want to come to.
Exactly.
As a lawyer, sir, how quickly does it take for a case to be in Nigerian court system, judiciary system? How quickly before a case can be heard?
Before it can be heard, you start hearing. You can hear immediately because you're supposed to arrest the person for at least you hold the person for at max 48 hours.
Okay, no,
then you take them to court.
This extradition request now, the US is most likely going to get lawyers in Nigeria to apply to submit whatever the case is.
Then this one gets its own defense lawyers.
Exactly.
Because I've heard
and
about
then those ones will now need their time, to go over the case, prepare their defense. The good thing, why I feel
thinking it will take hundreds of years.
No, it won't take hundreds of years, but it will take at least a year. And I believe that the American judicial system is if Nigeria was going to court with America, America is the best fit for Nigeria because they don't care waiting 10 years to get the person that they're after. Nigeria can play whatever game it wants to play. They don't care waiting 10 years. I feel like what will happen at the end of the day will be that investigation inside. America will still come for extradition and waiting. And then maybe the lawyers will become the bad people. It's Nigerian. See, Sal. It's just, I don't think it will gain. Exactly. They will frustrate the hell out of this thing.
Yeah, but when Sherry said, you said to save face, I think if the government really wants to save face and show that they are not a corrupt, I understand where you're coming from.
That is what the proper government should do. That is not what the Nigerian government will do.
Let me ask a question.
We will be scared about what else will come out.
The last time the American government told Nigeria something that had to do with governance or leadership was the aftermath of the October shootings at Lekki. What did Nigerian government tell them?
To stay out of Nigerians' business. This is not just Nigeria's business right now. This is an international.
I think it's the body language. You understand? It's the posture that we expect Nigeria to use to respond. No, it's not big. It's not that big.
It doesn't have to speak on this year.
It's not that big.
I don't understand.
Has any cow died?
Hey, God.
I'm not
part of this one yet. Hey,
Goodness gracious. But seriously,
you guys, I'm not trying to look for the
on the sovereignty card, it beats me. I saw a post that resonated with me. When it comes to sourcing for arms, you run for aid.
You're begging, you're lying on the floor.
Arms, arms, aid, arms,
loans.
Everything. Sometimes you even say, "Oh, come on!" I believe there were cries from some government officials. I believe a governor or two to the U.S. even concerning Boko Haram and the herdsmen killing. Come and help us! Come and help us! But now with something like this, you're playing the sovereignty card. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And Henry Kwa, you joked about the president right now. I felt like when this came out, it was very important. No, not joke like that. Not joke like that. Not joke like that. So I'm just saying, I felt like for something like this, it was very important for me. Rather than running for education summit, you could have given that to the Minister of Education. There is nowhere to be found anyway.
Shots fired.
Exactly. The president could have made a very bold statement to say that, okay, Nigeria as a country do not in any way support corruption from our police officers. I felt like a statement like that could have been very important from the president. That could have made headlines around the world. We didn't get that.
I re-echo. That is what is saying. Government will do. That is, you will not find the Nigerian government there.
We are still praying for a sane government.
Because I think this is a small issue. This is a police from a country. A police officer.
Sir, listen, in a sane country, as Cheryl is talking about, it will be massive embarrassment for everybody who is in office.
That's what I'm saying.
Just that. By now, there would have been a hearing in Parliament. Kyari would have shown up. They would have grilled him.
And those ones are on break, Hey, God.
They're attending to their 27 children and going to Bajabia. You understand? They would have
this thing is not funny at all.
They would have thoroughly looked into the matter, and put an official stand from the because you need to understand that when they say 3 tiers of government, parliamentarians across the world are they have their own G7 arrangement. You understand? While the executives have their own arrangements. You get what I'm saying? Now, in a sane country, let's even say that this happened in the UK. Oga, of course, that one. The moment it is happening, Oga for not leave office, then by now they would have been dragging him like small gen across TV. You understand? But you won't see that. Even if these our guys that are sleeping now, they say let sleeping dogs lie. Even them, when they come back, they won't do anything about it. They won't. You heard Gajabamila say power can handle itself. So let's leave Kyari smarter, I beg.
Anyway, we're just going to watch and see how this unfolds. I think this is a very interesting topic that all Nigerians are going to be glued to. Want to see this thing.
Nigerians are going to get bored soon.
Especially his supporters.
Last week it was fashion. This week is debt collecting.
Cheryl is making a very key input there. She said especially his supporters.
Oh yeah.
He has supporters. Oh Jesus!
No, you should have supporters because you're presumed innocent until proven guilty. So I think there are a couple of people that should give you benefit. All of us should even give him benefit of the doubt. When
I saw that last line of this is the true story, I actually felt like this guy. Then I went back again and read Zenith Bank. He said his screenshot that he was using to go and call it.
When I read the statement though, if I'm not paying attention to the circumstances surrounding the Facebook post, edit, delete, whatever, maybe because I'm a lawyer, there's that place where you keep that, okay, what if this person is innocent? What if?
Before I left the house, I was thinking about whether he's, I said it will make sense that we don't, you understand, condemn the guy completely.
Yes. We're not even condemning, we're just reacting.
What we're saying is give Nigerians, is it Nigerians who are given the benefit of the doubt now?
Yes.
No, but if Kyari was not guilty,
give us a system we can believe in.
If Kyari was not guilty, was not guilty, I think we would have seen receipts from all his chats with Hush Puppy by now. Everything would have passed. They would have pasted everything.
Laid down everything.
That's what I would have
But here's
done.
the thing: it may not necessarily be that he's guilty, but there may be one or two things that might implicate him, not necessarily in the fraud.
Those conversations,
but because of the kind of persona he has. Do you see the kind of people that Super Cup runs with?
I failed to even talk about this part here because I try to reduce my notes. If you look at the chat, alleged chat, let me say alleged, but that's what Hush Puppy gave the FBI. The chat between our Nigerian Super Cup and Hush Puppy.
I was thinking about this last week.
I was very embarrassed. Hush Puppy was instructing him to lock this man up.
Okay, bro.
You know, I want him to suffer in the wherever. He will not laugh. Ha 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 ha.
Okay, bro.
Yeah, he will not say, okay, bro. You know, like the only chance where they released that guy, allegedly from what we saw, he had to report back to Hush Puppy, sent him pictures of the Chibuzor guy that, oh, see, he's having rashes. It has been causing problem here, wherever. That one I said, oh yeah, I'll just release him, Shabi. I wanted him to suffer.
Don't give him his
Don't give him his whatever. Let him never
life.
see that phone again. Then the way the Super Cup was typing H-A-H-A-H-A-H-A. Come on, man.
See, let's leave Hush
Leave
Puppy.
this matter there because me, I was like, okay, maybe it might be no. Even that chat was too embarrassing. Come on, you're supposed to hold yourself in a certain.
That's why I said at the very beginning is he has built this and he just rolls without regard for his office and all.
All right, let's move back. So Chukwuebuka Enekwechi,
This one.
Enekwechi. Am I correct? Enekwechi. All right. Who represented Nigeria in the men's shot put final at the ongoing Tokyo 2020 Olympics, making history as the first Nigerian to qualify for the final of the shot put event, was seen in a viral video on Tuesday. Did you guys see that video?
I saw a bit of it.
Are you serious? Watch it.
I
In
heard
the sink. Yeah. I saw that. But
It was seen in a viral video on Tuesday, you know, after he qualified for the final. So he had qualified for the final, so he had to prepare for the final. And I was seen washing what appeared to be the only jersey provided to him by Nigeria for the competition. The Nigerian athlete later finished 12th in the final, missing out on a medal. You know, they thought he was going to win a medal, but he didn't win it. After throwing 19.74 meters on his third attempt in the final. So the viral video got many Nigerians very upset with the government, especially the sports minister, Sunday Dare, who faced several accusations of corruption as regards the welfare of the Olympians. So part of the corruptions I heard is that the phones that were given to them, that were supposed to be given to them, were not given to them. The money for jerseys allegedly were laundered, and so on and so forth. So also, several Nigerian athletes were disqualified from the games and could not, this happened like previous week though, they could not participate in any event after traveling all the way to Japan for not following laid down rules and some failing the required drug tests. So there were 10 that were first disqualified, then our Blessing Okagbare suddenly got disqualified for failing to pass the drug test. But the first 10, you know, those ones had to even wage a protest in Japan. Like, they could not participate in any games. So what I want to talk about here, you know, corruption everywhere, you know, lapses everywhere, embarrassment everywhere. First of all, why is somebody going to represent us at the Olympics? Having just one jersey. Then another thing that came out on Arise, I heard on Arise yesterday that he was paid allegedly. Why am I even saying allegedly, please? The official that said it on TV, is a sport official, that he was paid $1,000 to delete the post from TikTok. Yep.
And he actually did take it down.
He did. He collected the money and he took it down. You know, Henrikwa, one jersey. Disqualified athletes. You know, where are we? What's happening? Where is working? Which area is working? They were like, which area is working? And I think this guy did that thing intentionally where he videoed himself. You know, but the thing is that they did not come and deny that, oh, they supplied them several jerseys.
But here's the thing. News reports had it that Vice President Osibanjo was at the, I think there was a commissioning of what they call kit providers.
Okay.
Yes.
The kits for
Indigenous, I think. I can't remember the name, Awa or something like that. This was before the athletes left Nigeria.
Yeah.
So that should already tell you that there was provision made for that, one.
Yeah.
And it's not money, kits provided. That's not to, I mean, we're not even talking about
money
the
because
Puma.
they can't go and sell.
We're not
When I'm talking about the Puma one, because I'm like, okay, there's a lot going on.
Apparently had an ongoing contract, who had an ongoing deal to supply kits.
Yeah.
So if you had the vice president did, and then you had the Puma deal going, which they pulled out
Puma
of,
was for a separate
why would
occasion.
Nigerian athletes be at the Tokyo Olympics without kits? I mean, the questions are endless. We're not even talking about the fact that the Athletics Federation of Nigeria itself, they're in factions. So that already tells you that
they are fighting them.
There's,
Like, I don't want to even go into that.
But these are the crux of the
exactly,
issues.
because I was even watching them on TV yesterday. Like, I'm like, okay, this one is pointing accusing fingers here. This one is pointing accusing fingers here. But none of them is denying about the poor welfare of these athletes. Then when it came to even the drug testing, I was thinking, do we put it on even the athletes? I don't know. Knowing the kind of system that we have as an athlete, if I was going to compete in a particular game, do you think I should do my own research to find out what are the specific requirements and make sure that on my part, I follow through that process rather than wait for the system that is not really effective? Because I saw a post of one of the athletes that went all the way there, and she was among the 10 of them that was suspended. And she was like, it was out of her own negligence. Like, it was not her fault, so she didn't take blame. Like, those are not things that they felt they were at fault. So they were really hurt. Training all the way, going all the way there, then you cannot participate in anything.
So, it is only in Nigeria that mercenaries, like we use our athletes like mercenaries. Most times, there's no contract between the country and these people. It is basically
the
athletes. Okay. We have a camp, come inside. I really don't want to comment on this because it is sad that this is where we have gotten to. This is the same country that in the 96 Olympics was fantastic. Yeah. In several, we know how many athletes we've had over time, that have done this country proud, that have brought so much, like, the goodwill, I feel, to a large extent, that Nigeria enjoys in the international community was on the back of these people. The likes of the Mary Onyali, Francis, what's his name? I can't remember his last name.
Even Blessing Okagbare.
Including Blessing, you understand? Mm-hmm. But now we have a, oh God, what's the word? Even Dom does not begin to explain it. How can you, like, so I don't have the energy to talk about this.
And I feel like some of these people, really could have even gone. I feel like some of them were deprived from even making Nigeria proud, because we don't even know how far they could have gone with the games. The few that we saw, we had a few medals. There was Ese Brume and the other lady from the wrestling. And some of these people, like even Blessing Okagbare, there was hope for her. But they travel all the way. They have trained for years. It's like you don't even care about the people. And you guys are fighting internal crisis with whoever. Stealing, allegedly, kits. Like, the greed is so dirty these days, like, it has no limit.
But they came out just to show you the level of negligence.
And we had Nigerians not coming out to protest in Japan. Come on, man. Not only we did,
The federation actually came out to say that they bear responsibility for any lapses and that it would not impact negatively on the performance. How?
Which people that are not performing?
How? No, because even for me as an athlete, if I had my fellow athlete disqualified, I think most of them that were disqualified were in the track and field.
If I have to wash the jersey I used today for the next game, please, it will affect my performance.
The few ones that were left, it will have impacted on them, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Take, for instance, there was this guy, oh my God, I forget his name. He made it to the 100 meters finals.
And he got, he had a 4-star.
He wasn't a 4-star. This guy was running he had good pace and halfway through, muscle cramp.
Oh, I saw that one still as well. So there was the one with the force. I saw that one as well. And it was already going.
And I'm like, these are part of the issues. Because there are ways that you can prepare your athletes. There are ways that you can check your athletes. There are ways that you can, so there was just so many lapses on so many parts. And some of them who went there, went there with their coaches, probably had to put in extra effort and do things that the Athletics Federation and the Ministry of Sports and all of that failed to do.
Yeah, and we don't talk about these people's mental health. We saw some of the American athletes that had to pull out for mental health. And imagine the trauma these ones must have gone through, or even depression, going all the way to another country with high hopes, and nothing. And we're not even hearing about anything that will be done to compensate these people. We're not hearing anything. I've not heard.
I feel like we put our crap in a balloon, went to Tokyo and busted the balloon. What we are seeing from the ministry that Sunday Dare is responsible for is a symptom of what we've been dealing with for the last 6 years. Do you understand? The level of leadership has been stripped down. It's in negative range right now. Do you understand? Nobody is held accountable for anything. Everything goes as long as that guy who the absentee landlord feels like, okay, I've put someone there. That's all. Which minister has been reported and something has been done on that minister? Which one?
No disciplinary comment.
There's nothing. Listen, Nigeria is lacking.
Fighting corruption case was
Nigeria is lacking leadership. Those people who say that we are under the dictatorial waiting, at least dictatorship is a leadership. It's a form of leadership. No, we lack leadership right now. Yeah. Are you not taking care of everything for yourself? Think about it. Your security, you're taking care of it. If you need to fix your road, you will take care of it yourself. What is your health? Everything you're doing out of pocket. So what's the people who are there, what are they useful for?
Oh wow.
Listen,
and at the end of the day, you want to have hope, because I believe these guys even training to represent Nigeria, they had hope in the country, So what are you going to do tomorrow to motivate these people to come out, or motivate even other athletes to come out to say they want to represent Nigeria? Some of them will go and represent other countries.
Yeah, I was just going to say that the answer to that was clearly shown in a picture of two Nigerians standing side by side, only flying flags of other countries.
Yeah.
That's it. That's how it always ends up. That's how it always ends up.
This is sad, though. This is sad. But as the years are going by, it's like they care less. Anyway, let's move on. So a former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, as INEC, Professor Attahiru Jega, has warned Nigerians against re-electing the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, as well as the opposition, the main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, into office in any subsequent election in the country. Jega gave the warning in an interview with BBC Hausa. The former INEC chairman cited the failure of the two dominant political parties in making Nigeria better, despite being at the helm of leadership for 20 years. So this is what he said, part of what he said. So he said, it is time to create a platform for all good people to return to contribute to the cause of change in Nigeria. So he added here saying, so since these corrupt people have blocked everything to the point that even if you're a good person, if you're in their party, you cannot do anything, then there should be a different party that will bring good people together. Henry, I know you disagree, but anyway, go on. Me, I agree.
What's Jega talking about?
100% agree.
What's Jega talking about?
But anyway, it might not make sense though, but I agree.
Okay, so Jega is one character that whenever he turns up in
leave Jega though, Henry. What this guy is saying right now, if you have to leave Jega right now. Okay, look at this part. Wait, Henry.
It is not true.
No, let me read this part because I've heard this part several times. He says, since these corrupt people have blocked everything to the point that even if you're a good person, even if you're in their party, you cannot do anything. Yes. You have heard us saying many times that when you get into power, even if you want, you see Desmond Elliott now, that people have
No, don't go from fire pan to fire.
No, come on.
Don't go from fire pan to fire.
Please.
This is what I want to say. Yeah.
I'm saying people put him there with hope now, but when he entered, he turned into what we didn't understand.
He became what he was on the inside. It wasn't necessarily.
Okay, lay your argument. I'll probably put mine.
First of all, I'd like to know which party Jega was a good person in, that he was not allowed to do anything. I'd like to know which party. Secondly, Jega is being dishonest, plainly dishonest, to say the PDP and the APC are one and the same, and Nigerians should not vote either of them. This is what I'm going to tell you. Anybody who tells you that a ruling party is the same with the leading opposition has done, in logic, A equal to B. Yeah? If C is not on the same level as A and B, that person that is being dishonest is trying to take whatever is supposed to go to B, whatever is supposed to go to C, and give it to A. This is the logic of it. If, let's use a secessionist, for example, tells you do not vote, yeah, in the coming election, and you know that the ruling party has all the powers to make the result what it wants it to become, yeah? Anybody that tells you do not vote is working for that party that you know has the power to make the results happen. Do you understand? Now, Jega is being dishonest, completely dishonest. If he wants to run for political office, he should come out and say it.
But why do people always think when people come out to speak like this, they want to run for politics?
Because it is a lie. It is a simple. Listen, when you play like this, you're trying to make something that is more complex. This issue of governance is not a straightforward thing. It's something that is more complex. You're trying to make it look as if no, it's either like this or it's like that. It's the same thing that Buhari did. Do you understand? Now, you want to tell me now that you're fighting corruption. Is corruption simply coming out and changing body language? You need to see it. How far have we gone? Listen, the institution of government is more serious than Jega is letting on. The more we continue selling half-baked truth to the ordinary people, he said this on BBC Hausa. So imagine the number of people who think that no, it is just a matter of semantics, it's just a matter of political party. It is a lie. This Jega who is talking today, didn't he have the chance to make the people's will prevail in 2015? What did he do?
Allegedly.
Okay.
I'll stop you with this mic. What do you mean by allegedly?
Allegedly, please.
Henry, I get what you're saying.
I don't get what Henry's saying.
I get what you're saying to an extent, but I don't completely disagree with what Jega has said.
Okay.
Fine, politics is much more complicated than that. But let's take the most common, what would you call them now, example of how a two-party system is run in a country, which is what you have in the US, where you have the Democrats, you have the Republicans. Yeah. There is a lot of strategy. There's a lot of tactical thinking and plotting and even lobbying that goes on in those parties. Which, to an extent, you look at and you be like, "Oh my God, I want to do this. I want to do something like this." That's not the case with what you have in Nigeria. Yeah. You don't see APC and PDP and knowing and understanding the way politics should be run, want to hunger to be there, because you see that there's strategical thinking going on. You see that there's very smart lobbying going on. You see all these tactical moves that just make you just want to be like, oh my God, I want to be a politician.
Did you follow the build-up? Did you follow the build-up?
What you see, and forget about the even intelligent people and the know-it-alls and the technocrats and all that. Just the average Nigerian. What they see is today, PDP goes to APC. Tomorrow, APC goes to PDP. And they sit down and they think about it and they be like, these people are one and the same. So it just makes you think that, to an extent, there is no difference. Because, okay, take away the people. What are the ideologies of these parties?
Exactly.
What are the things that they are built on? What are their values? What are their foundations? What are the things that move them? We were having a conversation before this started, and you would not deny that really a lot of the people that you see in APC went to APC for a reason. Should we talk about that reason?
Oh, okay.
To save their necks.
Go back to PDP. Look at some of us, I call them strong men who are still there. The statesmen, the people who are trying to solve this ongoing internal wrangling that is going on in there. And when you think about what they actually put into the party, the foundations that they set, you will see that they are part of the reason why the party is the way it is. So these are the issues, I think. So yes, maybe Jega may not be in the best position to be making this statement because, as we said, he had an opportunity to. But take Jega out of the picture. Yes. What he said is a reality. It's a fact in Nigerian politics.
Okay, so the viewers, you see me drop my computer now.
Yes, please.
Drop your computer. To get into it,
I want as much as possible walk whoever is listening through how elections are won.
Yeah.
Elections are won.
Just winning elections.
It is the system. It is the system that we are talking about. Yeah. Now, this system cannot exist in a vacuum. It exists in Nigeria. What I'm saying basically is, if you carry a car from Germany and bring it to Nigeria, that car will start to operate within the Nigerian system. Whatever Nigeria's the capacity of our mechanics is, whatever our temperature,
how
weather
does
looks
the system now change?
Hold on, let me explain. Now, for those of us who understand the PDP very well, one thing that the PDP believes in very, 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 very strongly is freedom of press and open markets. These are ideologies, but many politicians will not sit down to break these things down to people to understand. Look at the trajectory of the media under the PDP's administration. Look at how many media houses were born under 16 years of PDP's rule. Look at how many you have. These are ideologies. Do you understand? Now, if our politicians continue to be lazy like Jega, and fail to get the chance to sow the seed, listen. Anything that Nigeria is going to become will be as a result of our efforts. Nigeria is not going to become that US that we are looking at if we do not get our ducks in a row, if we do not start to understand things beyond the basic. What you guys is doing here, that's the reason I'm saying it's very, very dishonest. For you to tell people that it is down to the name of a party, down to the name of... No, it's not true. Listen, we are still the people. Even if you bring the Democratic Party of the United States or the Republican Party and bring it to Nigeria, we are still the same people. We will still tend to those parties. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, if you as a Nigerian are interested in understanding how your leaders come to be, you will play an active role in it. You will learn whether this party is socialist or this party is communist. That's how these things work. Do you understand? We can't sit down and expect that leaders are going to come up, and if we do that, they'll continue doing the same thing that Buhari has done, and be the likes of Buhari, Tinubu, and all the other elected officials.
And what Jega is saying is that the current structure of these parties don't even allow people who are eager to learn and grow and thrive in these parties to do so. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I will not tell you that these parties are not without the influence of the Nigerian people. That's what I'm trying to explain.
Anyway, what Jega said here, which is what I want you guys, I want to hear whether you agree or you don't agree. He says we need a brand new political party with new leaders.
No, we don't.
You don't. I feel like we do. Sherry, do you think like we do?
I'm all for independent candidature.
Oh, okay.
So the reason why I say...
Wait.
Yes.
Yeah. And Henry Okwa, this PDP, like, I understand, like,
I'm not holding brief.
Wait.
I'm not holding brief for any political party.
Yeah, but I know the difference between the PDP, even if I was not here for most of the time, but I know the difference. You know, the difference is clear. You talked about that press freedom. I like that one because I've been a victim of, press oppression under
this. But that's an aspect. I would argue that is not an ideology.
Let me explain.
That's not a foundation.
Wait now, Henry Okwa. But at the end of the day, looking at PDP for these 6 or 7 years, 6 years, as an opposition party, am I impressed? No. PDP has had 6 years to even get their house together. You're hearing leadership crisis here, leadership crisis there. Even right now, they're still fighting. At least the people, and they're not even thinking about governance, because if you cannot sort out your internal leadership, whatever, how can you focus on governance? You know, because if the governors have to leave their states every day to run to Abuja to go and sort out one crisis, leave your state tomorrow to run here to go and be sorting out one leadership, whatever, how do you guys have time to take care of your states and take care of the needs of the people still at the end of the day? That is where I am not impressed, you know. I feel like we need a new core of leaders in this country who are going to be detached from this bunch of people. It may not be possible, but in my opinion, I feel like we need there's not attached to any of all these people at all. We need a fresh start. We need to start from somewhere. At some point, they say you need to lose, to win again. Exactly. Sometimes you need to start afresh.
Okay.
I feel like we need to start afresh. It might not be possible looking at the whole political system, knowing how it works. Oh, you need these people that have money here. You need people to back you up here and this and this. Yeah, that's the system. Come
that's
on.
not what I'm talking
See
about.
how much for these forms.
No, sir, that's not what I'm talking about.
I'm saying that's why we may not be able to have that independent political party that is detached from this. That's what I feel. That's
it is
what
the
I feel.
people. Listen, our ideology, the way we hold ourselves, the values that we hold.
We can break away from that ideology. It's a bad one that's not served any purpose for all these years. We can.
However,
how many it might be difficult, but we can. These two systems have not worked. And I agree, for 20 years, Nigeria could have been a more transformed nation if these two parties were serious about governance. We are appreciating what we have. What we have is trash. In 20 years, if we had two serious political parties, PDP and APC, and PDP for the most, because they have been in power for the most time, I am not impressed with anything. I'm not impressed though, you guys might be impressed. I am not impressed. Because I feel like Nigeria has a lot of potential. If we had serious leaders, serious leaders. Nah, these ones are fighting. Harry, no, you can't put this word in, because I'm the one reporting this news every day. PDP is fighting here. Then they will come and say that the APC is giving their governors money. They gave your governor money and they collected and went. Shame.
Okay, but the real issue, just like you asked, is it you said something which I think will probably answer this. Probably, and you will agree with it too. You said it's not a new political party we need, and you've been hammering on the people and the ideology. But I do agree that we need a new crop of leaders.
Where would they come from?
They can come from somewhere.
You said it.
Come from your family.
You said it.
They come from my family. What are the values in those families? That's what I'm talking about.
Then we can have a party that we have ideologies. They can have policies. We can't.
Why can we not? It's not possible.
Henry,
because your people will throw that party out.
Our values as a people have not been completely eroded. I stand on that. Yes, I stand on that.
Because Nigerians are even becoming more advanced as years are going.
Because for every 100 Nigerians, this is quite random, yes, but to an extent we will agree. For every 100 Nigerians that leaves the shores of this country and goes outside and is fit into the system that they have in those countries, guess what? They're different people.
Exactly.
They align with the system.
Exactly.
Some of them are still notoriously Nigerian. Because we have that spirit. They're still notoriously Nigerian. But a lot of these people still have those good values in them, which if they even grow up in those countries, they will not have. So our values as a people have not been completely eroded.
What are these values? Let me just, for avoidance of doubt, what are the values?
You brought it up.
What are the values?
You brought it up.
Are we honest people?
Yes.
We can be.
We can. That's the word.
We can be.
Okay. No, seriously.
Let me give one example. When you say system and you say the system cannot, that's why I disagreed with you. A Nigerian man here, might not obey the traffic law in Nigeria,
because he knows
because he knows that the system that's been created, allows him to get away with all those things. But when that same human being, the same person, steps into London, you cannot afford to see the light on red, whether there's road safety there or there's no road safety there, and you are driving and park. The same person, but because you know that the system here gives you the right to disobey, and you know that you can get away with all those things, then you will continue. You will. The same people here, zebra crossing here is woo. They will go to London. They know what zebra crossing is. But you know that here, if they even take you to the station, you give small thing. Hey, case don't clear. That's why I said, that's why I blame the parties and blame the leaders, because it could have not stopped PDP or even APC from setting up a structure, setting up a system that will work for us. We are the kind of people that if there's no penalty, a Nigerian man may not, likely 99% of the time, will not obey until their punishment.
It's not just about the Nigerians. Everywhere.
Everywhere. Though, but I'm saying
the white people come here and they be traffic
these people that have come to lead us, they have not, all of them have failed to give us that structure. Who has given us a good police? Who has given us
Nobody will give you anything. Nobody will give you anything.
Something, because the other countries there's somebody that set up the system. The system did not just appear.
Set it up? They sat down as a people and agreed that these things are our
values. But you are saying that nobody, you are sounding like we have given up on the whole thing.
We can do these things. We can do these things. But I think if we come back to the issue, we can do these things. But what Jega is saying is we will not do it with the existing structures on ground. So you have a people who are bedeviled by their system. You have a people who have no choice but to play ball, even when they really, deep in their hearts, do not want to. So give them a platform where they can, to the best of their ability, be the better people. Give them a platform where if they say, okay, we want to come up with a blueprint and we're going to follow this blueprint even after we're elected into office, they can, without having to answer to godfathers, without having to answer to all those people that made them enter into power in the first place. Give them that platform. So I agree with you that
who will give who the platform?
See, we're saying the same thing.
Who would give who the
platform? We're saying the same thing.
The parties.
We should. I'm even saying, when you asked me the question, new political party or not, I said independent candidature.
Okay.
Listen, there are people who in 2019 were doing things on their own. Great strides. They came up with new parties. But they were the ones that, I'm coming. But they were the ones that formed the party. Do you understand? So everything they did was of their own strength, their money, their whatever, people like that. So you may not necessarily call them.
What are some of these people doing today?
You may not necessarily.
What are some of these people doing right now?
I know someone who is still doing a lot of educating and I'm just going to call his slogan, get involved. That's it. He's telling everybody, every Nigerian at every level, get involved because it is you. Same thing you're saying. It is you that will give you the Nigeria that you want. Do you understand? So I brought him up because when you asked me the question, I said independent candidature. So it's not the APC, it's not the PDP, it's not all the other people who are disgruntled because they can't have prime positions in APC and PDP that come together to form new parties that will give us a Nigeria that we want. But that is not to say that they are not people, honest, genuine people who care about Nigeria, who maybe when they get there might become something else. But right now we are seeing that they are putting in their values and their heart and everything that they have, their money, their personal money, into building a platform where they can, give Nigerians an opportunity to say, look at me, this is what I'm doing, and let's go ahead and do this. So people, we the people.
1 minute.
We the people.
No, you can't give me 1 minute.
We the people.
You can't give me 1 minute.
We the people are the ones that are going to make the change. But not on the existing structures. That's the point that I'm making.
All right,
I agree with you, Cheryl. I'm happy that there's somebody who is doing that, because that's what I've hammered for on this podcast time and time again. I believe strongly that as a people, we must change our paradigm. We must change our ideas. We must change the way we look at leaders. We must change the way we look at elected offices. We must change what we demand from ourselves. Do you understand? You can't tell me that you want an honest leader in the villa when out of 200 million, we can only find maybe 80 honest people in the country. It's not possible. I'm exaggerating, but you get my point. Now, unless we get back to the basics of it, in our community today, I'm going to run for office soon by God's grace.
Yeah.
The idea of it is build Nigeria community by community. Do you understand? Sure, I don't know why.
I just thought about the party that you're in. I want to say great Prof. I'm scared for you.
No, this is it, yeah? On paper.
Your hands will be so tied.
On paper, yeah, these parties are exemplary platforms. On paper. Based on what was written into whatever their constitutions are, and their manifestos and what they stand for, the APC is supposed to be a socialist party. You understand? Meaning, empty the public of treasury, dump it on the poor people, give the poor people everything that they need: electricity, water, amenities, name it. That's how the APC is supposed to operate. But we see the reality of it. You understand? The PDP as well, the same thing. It's open market. You understand? Anybody that has the money to come and do business in Nigeria, come and do business. Unfortunately, I carry it and give to the people that have the money among them. Do you understand? Now, as a people, we have to really sit down, look at ourselves in the mirror, see the ugly truth, yeah, and say we want to change from this thing. Because if we try to build anything on the mindset of look at our young people who are in secondary schools, universities, we are building the next set of crooks that are going to lead this country. Do you understand? If we do not get back to the basics and start to correct from our families, the family is a microcosm of society. If we do not start to correct from our families, we will not make any change in Nigeria. My last point. Yeah. Talking about political parties, the way political parties win elections cannot be outside the Nigerian constitution. It cannot be outside the electoral law. The electoral law requires you to have an office in every ward in Nigeria. Every ward. Let's just start. One local government may have up to 12 to 20 wards under it. And we have 774 local governments in Nigeria. It means you must have a presence in those local governments down to those wards. Do you know what it takes? Now, I'm not saying we cannot do it, but we should not make it look like, no, it's A or B. It's not true. It is hard work that we all have to do together. Hard work. So any politician who is going to come out now and tell you that, listen, this thing is A or B, is black and white, it is a pure lie. As far as Nigeria is concerned, we are going back to the beginning and we are going to try as much as possible to start well. So there's Jega is
your
being
beef with Jega is real.
Exactly, because I feel like you are just more angry that it's Jega that said whatever he said. I don't think you really, because when you said, but whatever you said at the end, towards your end, you said it's on the people. Yes. And when you said that point, in my mind, you're agreeing with Jega though, because it's the people that will vote, and you're telling the people not to vote these bad leaders, and don't vote APC and don't vote PDP. Find somebody else that will serve your purpose.
This is the foundation. It is dirty. It is stupid already. No, let's just look for another party. So APC, PDP, and
no, he's saying that we have tried these people for 20 years. Things are not working. We need to switch, which is true.
Now, that's what I'm saying. It's the same thing I'm saying. The switch that you have to make will come from where? Are you going to bring a Liberian to come and lead Nigeria? No.
But we don't know what can happen now.
No, Sal,
he's saying is that if we find something better, for example, a third force comes right now that means well for this country. He's saying we should rather go for it rather than go for APC and PDP.
Third force comes, what will the people on election day demand from that third force? Please tell me.
But if a third force has come with nice ideologies and nice policies and whatever they present it,
the majority of the people who are voting will collect bread.
We can change. Just like we came out last year to protest. Did we believe
that
Nigerians
How will they change? How will they change?
These are things that the politicians capitalize on Nigerians for. So I don't.
Until we say no, they will continue giving us bread.
Do you know how? Do you know how we will change? Do you know how we will change? What the politicians have been doing is giving them fish instead of teaching them how to fish.
And they do it intentionally.
You can teach them how to fish in such a way that it looks like, see, I'm working with someone who is calling it empowerment, but it's beyond. What he's doing is such that even after he's gone, they can still stand on their feet. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Just don't give them the fish because it will chop out.
They know why they're giving them the fish. Now,
that's what I'm saying. So I say that to lend credence to what Jega is saying, as much as you hate what he's saying right now, is that the people that we have now, in the structures that we have now, even when a good person with good intentions enters, because they are absorbed into that structure, it will make nonsense of what they're doing. So all he's saying is, forget the word that he used, forget the fact that he used political parties. What I hear him say and what I agree with is come up with a platform that works, that would allow you to work and go with it.
And I say it is
and
not
I agree.
the platform.
We are gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
So
we
that's
can. Yes, we can.
So number 5.
Yes, we can.
Just after my IG stories, I'm going to continue this topic because this is what this people are saying. I don't agree.
No, you agree. Me, I agree with Sherry. I agree with Sherry and Jega.
No, I agree with you guys. Yeah, I agree with you guys. But
I'm done with this topic. Please continue your Instagram story. Yeah.
We must be conscious about it.
Yeah.
And we will have to.
And I understand with you where we need to wake up.
Some people have started. Let's find those people that have started and align with them. How about that?
And coming out to protest last year to me was a big step. I didn't expect that from Nigeria, so I cannot say that we're still sleeping. We're getting smarter. So the Muslim rights concern, MURIC, you can take a deep breath, or you can sigh, has warned the Christian Association of Nigeria, that's CAN, saying that it is not yet the turn of a Christian to be president of Nigeria come 2023 general elections. So MURIC based his stance on a mathematical calculation from the time Nigeria began democratic rule in 1999. The group was reacting to a recent statement by CAN. So CAN brought this up, where it called for a 2023 Christian president of Nigeria. In a statement signed by its director and founder, Professor Ishaq Akintola, on Monday, MURIC said, and I quote, he said, "We believe that it is not yet the turn of a Christian to be president of Nigeria. If you want to go by the mathematical exactitude from the time Nigeria began civil rule in 1999. So he said, Christians have ruled for 13 years when you do that calculation, and Muslims have ruled for just 11 years. So Christians, we don't pass Muslims by 2 years. Yeah, so he went on to say that Muslims will be shortchanged. Now, wow, shortchanged by 2 or 4 years if a Christian becomes president in 2023. He says the ideal thing is to allow another Muslim to spend only one term from 2023 to 2027. Why are you laughing? There will be no doubt about there will be no doubt about who takes the reign of powers from 2027, because a Christian must be installed as president at the time. All controversies would have been removed, but there is controversy now.
Sorry, are you asking me something?
What's there to ask? You're supposed to react. Okay. This is reaction. So this is what MURIC has said.
Both of them are mad. Both CAN and MURIC.
God bless you.
How can we finish having this kind of conversation?
I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. But they should both take 2 back seats. I'm a Christian, but this is so not the issue.
Like, CAN brought this up, so I have to emphasize that.
You guys do realize that the reason why these people, the reasons why these 2 groups, the Muslim rights, waiting, and CAN, the reason why they are mentioned in the press so much is because a large population in this country, somehow, CAN will be talking, it will never enter my head. MURIC could be talking, to never enter my head.
When you put them so much attention, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're always on the ball of the media.
They have the following. That's the reason why.
We're a religious country, so yeah. But my problem here, though, if we start calculating, I've not seen this one before.
Please, let's discuss other things around it. Let's not do this maths that MURIC and CAN are doing.
Years, though, like the 80s, because there are lots of 80s in Nigeria now. Like, this is supposed to come out and say, okay, you have done 11, you have done 13, we have not done any more.
I think of 80s, traditional worshippers, all the far people and the Ahmadiyya, shouldn't they lead?
Or do we go to Buhari's daughter?
I just want to ask CAN a question.
Okay.
Because I have absolutely no business with MURIC.
What of CAN?
That's what I'm saying. I want to ask them a question. Yeah. In the 13 years that they calculated that we had a Christian president in Nigeria, what did that do for us as Christians?
My sister.
What did they
How is
do
that
when those
important?
Christian presidents were erring? No, I'm saying that to say that they have even lost sight of what they are.
Me, I'm saying how is
There was a time that
even
Khan
important?
president was helping Nigeria buy arms.
What are they
Allegedly.
It's
reading?
not allegedly anything.
They don't lock him
He
up.
spoke. He wasn't. He was doing business for the state.
Oh.
Having
was doing
asked that
business with
question,
Supplying the arms.
No, he
I
was
now
helping
move
the states
emotion
run
for us to move on
interference.
from this topic.
Okay, can we move on from this topic? Are we going to...
I will close it with MURIC and Khan. You are mad. They are mad.
Who is that?
MURIC and Khan. They are both of them are
No,
mad.
we're not supposed to
You should
insult
take-
people. You could get arrested.
Hate speech.
They just
mad.
arrested. They just arrested the PDP youth leader
Please, you should
for
arrest me.
insulting
Both of
the
them are mad.
president.
Both of them
they
are
didn't
mad.
just arrest him.
Did I insult president?
The magistrate sentenced
Did I insult
them
president?
to
Did I insult
president.
It will shock
It's
you
MURIC
because
and Khan
because
that
the same
is-
people that you
yeah,
say
both
have
of them are
lateral
mad.
links are the ones that will
for
come
the
after
next 5
you.
minutes.
they
Are
are
we,
mad.
are we dealing with Buhari's daughter-in-law or what you want to talk about?
I feel that's as much a non-issue.
Okay, let's leave.
Can we talk about Jackie B?
Who be Jackie B?
Who?
Big Brother Nigeria.
How about we
Big Brother
talk
Nigeria?
about? Oh my God! It's just that this is also going to bring us to the ineptitude of our leaders again. We've talked about politics. We've talked about sports. Now we're talking about health and the cholera outbreak and how dastardly it is, and the absolute nothing that our leaders are doing. Starting from the minister of the FCT here, and I think 72 cases recorded, 72 deaths recorded so far. Yes.
Wow.
So it's quite an issue.
And
nothing is
talking about
being
that,
said.
talking about the cholera one, looking at the C-19 one as well, and right now doctors are on strike. So leadership still as well.
Exactly.
And you're telling us right now that there's a new variant, people are dying. China has started reporting new numbers because I'm not reporting any
highest in
numbers.
6
The
months.
highest in 6 months, But you allow doctors go on strike. You're talking about cholera outbreak right now. They are seeing the deaths. And you're allowing doctors go on strike. Did you see the there was a new report of a list of number of doctors that are waiting to write an exam to
leave
go
the
and
country.
practice outside Nigeria.
Jack,
And I know one that left last year. Okay,
it.
this is a nurse, and several doctors left last year. One I know as well is moving to Saudi Arabia, and we're here talking about outbreak. I don't think the system is serious. If you don't take doctors serious and you don't take teachers and lecturers, you don't take education serious, I don't know what you take serious. We can talk about sports and kick sports there, but health. This is even health services that we have to pay for. They are not even free. But you can still give us a system that will... Yeah, so I don't know. It's still everything leadership, like Enekwechi says, so I just think...
I just wish that the FCT minister or whoever his representative is in the TA or FCDA? FCTA would just take a drive to 3 primary healthcare centers here in Abuja. Your heart.
I've seen one. I've seen the one in Gaki.
Primary healthcare
where I
center.
work.
We're not even talking about for cholera. We're talking about headaches, malaria, things that we're living with day in, day out.
If you want, I can give you pictures of a healthcare center in the FCT here to put.
we can
to
add,
put to put on the.
Excuse me.
When we are publishing this.
I went
It
to
is
one.
terrible.
I did an interview.
It is
in one.
terrible.
They have volunteers.
Oh, this one's
those-
even have volunteers.
In those, no, I think
Like the doctors that come
the
in.
system is run
Doctor.
based on volunteers.
Did you say doctor?
Oh, there's no doctor there.
Do you know what healthcare centers are?
Primary healthcare
Primary
center.
healthcare centers.
The system
for
is
the
run
normal,
based
it's for
on
the-
volunteers.
What's
That
that?
is, if they
The
want
ones
to
that
come,
are,
they will come.
The ones that are closest.
There's no doctor.
And most times,
Hardly do you see nurses.
most times,
So what purpose are they
it is
supposed to serve
retired-
there? What
it
are they
is
there for, though, Enekwechi? What are the primary
So,
healthcare centers there for?
That's where you go to. That's your first point of call. Normally, in healthcare, in a healthcare service delivery system,
Like a first
you do
aid.
like first aid is at home. Do you understand?
Okay,
Then when you need what do they call it? Skilled health attendants, you go to primary healthcare center. When the case has passed the level for primary healthcare center, they send you to secondary healthcare center, health facility. From secondary, there's tertiary. Do you understand?
National Hospital is under where? Tertiary.
It is a tertiary health. National hospital, yeah, tertiary. The career also is a yes, tertiary. Now, Sal, I want to not go back to where we were. But something needs to change in our minds for us to start demanding to be treated like human beings. The typical
for
Nigerian,
us to even demand
the
to
typical
be
Nigerian
treated
does
in a
not
certain
know
way,
what
to me,
a
is a
human-
problem.
That's it. No, what did you say? The
The typical
Nigerian
Nigerian does not know what it means or what it feels like to be a human being.
That's
We are
it.
living in abuse on a daily basis.
And we think it's the
We
norm.
abuse ourselves.
And
The
we think
system
it's the
abuses
norm.
us. We abuse other people as well.
And we think it's the norm.
And we
So
think
you-
it is the
So
norm.
you don't even know to demand differently.
We think it is the norm. So you know very well that it's not like you have billions in your account, and you know very well that cancer does not stop at rich man's table. However, you will walk past your healthcare facility, your primary healthcare facility, everywhere that you live right now, right here, there's a primary healthcare facility that's supposed to serve this population. Do you understand? You will walk past it. You don't know whether the doctors are there. You don't know whether they have water. You don't know whether they have light until the day that is your first point of call. And then we start to say, hey, government, no.
Yeah,
no,
but what
no.
you want the normal, because I walk past it if I'm going for my job, what am I stopping there to do? Is it my responsibility to go there to go and sort it out? I
No,
don't
that's not what I'm
understand
saying. That's not
means.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Most of us are not even conscious of the things that we need in our own lives, in our daily lives. We are not conscious of these things. You understand? So most times it is until we're in a critical condition, that's when we start to shout. Oh, look at it when fire breaks out.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen a hydrant anywhere in Abuja? How do we expect fire trucks to actually carry water from their stations to those places?
But how will you know that whoever they have there are not functional? You expect the government to make it functional. Like, are the people supposed to go there to go and inspect to figure out, like, are these your fire trucks working?
So,
do you guys have water and do you have Omo? How is it supposed to be? Because that's not the way it's
it is
supposed
our
to be.
involvement. It
That's
is
not
our.
the way it's
Do
supposed
you know?
to
Let
be,
me ask you a
though.
question. Let me ask
So
you a
why
question.
do you have people in leadership positions, though?
Because
if I still have to go
because
there
we
to
put
tell you
the
what
carts.
to do, though.
We put the carts before the horse.
Huh.
Listen.
Okay, I have 1 minute. I beg.
Development, as far as governance is concerned, development starts from the minds of the people. It is the people who start to have a vision. No, this is the way we are. We don't like it anymore. Do you understand? And then they start to pick leaders in the direction that they want to go. You get what I'm saying? Now, if we are walking around, and I've mentioned here several times that I take note of what is happening with our policemen at different checkpoints when I pass by. The reason I do this is so that I will know whether the day that something happens, whether I can actually call police to come to come and respond to that situation. And it is that's one thing. Now I do it with other aspects of, well, my own life. For now, I'm not responsible for the country or for my state or anything. Do you understand? But these things, if we are not conscious of them, we can't change them. If we don't agree now that we want policemen that will never slap a Nigerian again, if we don't agree that this is what we want and stand behind it, well, our leaders will continue coming and they'll tell us what they want to tell us, and the policemen will continue slapping us and beating us and killing us.
Okay,
Do you understand? Our priorities have to be, we have to get our priorities straight.
Though, but
just to add my 2 cents to that, and I say this because there are different levels of involvement.
Yeah.
2 things can happen. If I walk past my primary care center and I see that it is defunct or it is lacking in one way or the other, 2 things can happen. 1, the natural mindset would be, go in there, okay, what's not working, go to the nearest local government person and report and follow up and ensure that something is done about it so that when I need that service, it is there for me to use. But the average Nigerian, when he walks past and sees that place is defunct, it's just like you said, to know whether the day you need it, whether you go there or not. The average Nigerian will know that place is defunct and just go to somewhere that is working.
Or die in the process.
Or, no, we're not
all of them that can.
We're not that hungry to
It's
die.
not all of them that can actually afford to go to the next place.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not there yet. The average Nigerian will either go to where it's working or come up with alternative remedies to help themselves. Because we are resilient as a people. We don't want to die. Now, the reason why you would not find as many people doing the first thing, which is go to a local government official and report and all that, is because the people who are there are inept, or probably will not do what they're supposed to do, or probably will start and will not finish. You know, when I went to some of these places and we did interviews, you go, you report that we have a problem in water, we can't continue like this as a community, we're drinking from the stream, blah, blah, blah. They will come, do a lavish ceremony, set up a borehole, and after a while, to stop working. Why? No maintenance, no nothing. Guess what? As hard as the people try to keep that thing working, as long as the local government official or whoever it is that's responsible for taking care of that thing does not play their part, it will still stop working no matter how hard they try. So, having said that,
I want to understand how hard they try to maintain the borehole, or how hard they try to get a person to do
they can maintain it.
them.
They can make sure that it's not being misused, because I mean, how
hard they do what exactly?
Can a
hold their officials accountable?
I'm answering your question. They're saying that I've gone to meet these people. I've told them I don't have water. They have come. They have put water. I feel like my voice was heard. Great. Now I'm maintaining it. I'm even making sure that my people are paying levies just to keep up the place, you know, but there are certain levels of maintenance that cannot be done by the local community. And so the officials will have to step in there, and the officials are going at it. I mean, they're following up with the officials constantly, and they're not doing anything about it because they don't have to take from that same water source. And so they leave the people to die. So think about the people in those local governments. Leave the educated Nigerians and all those people. They do their best. I've had some people who will even go to local media stations to report the local government people. But because of the influence that these people have, and the fact that they're so used to getting away with everything that they get away with, it makes little or no difference. If it does make a difference eventually, people have gone on suffering for so long. Now, I've said all that to say
there's just one step
when you talk
after
about
that.
The people,
there's one step after that.
I'm sure you will illuminate. Yeah. But here's the thing. The thing about the people, the thing about the Nigerian people is, it's not as if they are sitting down, not trying. A lot of them are trying. But some of the time, especially in this administration, what you come out, what you hear people saying, especially these officials, a lot of the time is, it's not about the government. It's not about, what about the people? The people, to a large extent, are doing what they can do. What are you doing your part as government? Now, the answer to that is, elect new officials. Because even when they tried to impeach, even when they tried to, what's that thing they tried to do with our dear SDM at the time? People came out, they signed all of that. The structures did not allow for the people's voices to be heard. So the answer to that is still relies on the people. So I said that because the people are trying. I just want to let you know that the people are trying.
Yeah. So I'll just take two things from what you've said. The people are trying. For these people who you have mentioned, kudos to them. I'm happy that we have pockets of those people around. The next level to that is that consistency. The reason why I talk so much about the people and their consistency and their resilience is I watched a documentary some time back. It was from Russia. You understand? Russia is dictatorial by nature, but they have local government officials. And these people, they made it very clear that literacy level in this place is below, I think, about 20 or 18%. So you understand that these are actually poor people. You understand? Together, they mobilized all the way through that period to election. Listen, there's nobody, that is bigger than the collective. There's nobody bigger than the collective. If my community today says we want a different chairman for our community association, we can change the chairman. It is within our rights. It is our power to do so. Do you understand? The moment we start to shake the very table that these people are sitting on, the more uncomfortable they become. Do you understand? Because you will not explain to you cannot explain to me how we now have local government autonomy. The only thing that I would say this administration has actually done, which is to make sure that the money is meant for local governments get to the local governments. It is now our part to play, to hold people accountable for those monies. See, if we say in our community we want to see the balance sheet every month, we want to know how much we are paying workers in our local government, we want to know how much we're using for infrastructure, we want to know this, we want to know that. If we place those things as demands, anybody who is coming to ask for our votes will have to provide those things for us. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it is unfair, so to speak, to put the blame on the people when the leaders have failed for so many years. Do you understand? It is unfair, I agree. But the truth about it is nobody's coming to save us.
We have to keep at it.
Nobody's coming to save us.
I agree with you guys though, even if my own opinion is very different. Like I don't feel like anything should be put on the people, I believe you either putting somebody in a leadership position or you that the people have put in the leadership position, you should be honest enough, you should be diligent enough to want to do the right thing. People have things to do with their lives, and most of all these people in the communities are poor, you're living thinking about how to eat, and thinking about how to feed your family. So now going to check somebody that has been elected to do a certain particular job to find out whether you're working. Why are you putting that extra? Like, I agree with you guys though, but they putting this burden on the people. I think it's totally, totally unfair. I think we should have bodies, like I said, Nigerian people run on penalties and punitive measures or whatever. I think we need to start having bodies that check, very independent bodies that actually check some of all these people's performances. There should be bodies that go around to check primary health care. So I don't know whether it's the Ministry of...
In FCT, it's called the Primary Health
When
Care
I say
Board.
bodies, not all this one there, like real bodies that will check, and do real report, and really report that, this is not how here is supposed to be, or here is not working. Just honesty, man. Just honesty. I just think we need to be honest and want to work, and don't go into power if you don't want to work. Leave the office. Like, I don't know, man. This thing is stressing me out. I don't want to talk about this again.
We must
go
into those contracts with our leaders consciously.
How? Like Henry Kwa, like when you always say, like the one Henry said, like recently when he said, the people need to like come together to check that. I'm looking at the whole village. I'm like, okay, how are they supposed to have a body? Like all of them supposed to come and gather and come and be looking like,
no, sir, it's called the ward development committees. All wards,
who makes up the
members
committees?
of the ward. So you see, we have the ward, then we have the council, then we have the local government. Before we have the state, and then we have the federal.
And political party things we play inside.
No, these are not political parties. These are things that have already been set in the Nigerian Constitution. Do you understand? And these things actually operate. Listen, if you go to a community, maybe in Lugbe or somewhere, and you want to find out what is happening with the amenities that they have there, it's the ward committee chairman that you would ask. They have ward committees. They have village development committees. We actually have these structures.
Based on where we are, though, are we going to say that those committees are working?
No, but that's the thing,
So
that's
we
the thing,
have what we need to start off.
When we talk about governance in this country, and we talk about politicians, the most rugged, the most dogged, and the most effective actually are the people at those ward levels.
Exactly.
Oh my God. They are the ones, go and look at House of Rep, go and look at State House of Assembly, go and look at, to some extent, even Senate. They are the ones that win the elections. Those people at those levels. So when you look at it from that point, I will agree with the power of the people, but at those levels, things are so defunct and it doesn't reflect at the bigger picture because the people at those levels need a reorientation.
Yep.
If those people at those levels are reorientated, that's the correct word, then it can then... So in Nigeria, the structure is such that it's the bottom-up approach. If you mobilize at that level and you get those numbers and all of them are sane and all of them know the true power in their numbers, the people at the top will not be able to influence them so easily, and we can get the right type of leaders. So in answer to that, I would say what my dear friend who is running, I think he would run again in 2023, will always say, get involved.
Wow. Anyway, that's a great way to end today.
It is.
Sherry, wow, great conversation today. Yeah, Henry Kwa, that almost beat all of us up.
Especially Jega.
I
he even came in front of his mic here and he was talking here.
See, Nigeria keeps me up at night. Nigeria Nigeria cuts my sleep short. You understand? And
I'm very passionate about this country. I want things to work,
Until we are able to get there, I don't think any of us
should not stop.
Yeah,
we will.
That's why we're using our platform right now to do what we can do. So anyway, thank you guys for watching and listening. Please don't forget to subscribe to Page 36 TV on YouTube and like this video, subscribe and share and leave a comment if you have anything to say. Thank you. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Toodles.